it's Glacier, and this will be a video chart on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. We've been tracking this one for a while, kind of bouncing back between this and the S&P 500. I did this one on Friday, I believe, as we entered this trend line. And so let me get this drawn back up here. I'm not going to really go over the significance of this trend line since we've had it in terms of kind of what it means and so forth. But just know that this trend line has really been a pain in the neck. Let me redraw it. There we go. Has been a pain in the neck. And the reason I redrew it, I'm not trying to do anything, but I didn't really have the high of that candle correctly. So that's why I did that. But you'll see that basically from here and then these points and then this zone here, this trend line has really been knocking down the price. So I want to get this back updated since it looks like the trend line may be knocking us back down again. Don't get me wrong, we are making higher highs, which is good. This is a dynamic trend line, meaning that as time increases, the price of this trend line does increase also. So by no means am I saying that this trend line isn't going to allow us to go higher, because it does go higher with each and every day. But it's just more a matter of can we get through it and really get a nice another little jolt. What I'm also going to do is use FAS chart. This chart here, this is the one that tracks the financial sector by 3 times. So real quickly, what that means is if the financial sector is having a good day, this chart is also having a good day, but it just moves 3 times as fast. And we're going to I'm going to go over what I'd like to see on this chart in order to see a nice separation from the Dow Jones chart. So just real quick, what do I mean? It's looking like it's going to knock us back down again. Well, first off, as you can see, we're right up in the same area as all these, as this trend line here. As you've heard me mention in other videos, resistance points are not exact prices; they are zones. So just like here, sure, the price got up above it a few times, but the zone ended up knocking it back down. Just like here, yeah, we're getting pretty close to it, but this is a zone. So even these days that come up here, that's still not really breaking it because you haven't separated enough from it. You're still kind of caught in a web, as I also like to call them. So if you picture kind of like a spider web around these lines, it's all within the range of the actual marker, but it's not like this exact trend line is going to be where all the bulls are hanging out. Charts work, but they don't work that well to predict exact prices. They're more just zones, so please keep that in mind. But anyways, as you can see, these 2 past candles have high wicks on them, and wicks are just simply these black lines above the candle. And what these wicks are implying is that at some point during the day, these are actually solid green candles. However, by the end of the day, they get pushed back down to close the way they are. And when you have these sorts of wicks that come around key areas, and right now we're at a key area because it is at a resistance trend line, they kind of not predict, that's the wrong word, but they kind of say to you, well, we're having problems again getting through this area, because every time the price gets up here, the bulls knock it down. Every time the price gets up here, the bulls knock it down. Kind of better seen on the 30-minute. Maybe let's try the 15-minute. Maybe that's even better. Both about the same. Let's just hop back to the 30-minute. But here's how these wicks are formed. So the price pops up here, and then by the end of the day, the bears knock it back down. Same thing here. Price pops up there, but then by the end of the day, the bears knock it back down. So that is how these wicks are being formed, and all that's saying is that, yeah, the price tries to get up in these areas, but each time it does, seems like there's always people sitting there that just knock it straight back down. So knowing that, it's looking like we could be getting a pullback here, assuming maybe the bulls can all of a sudden just fight through this, but there is some selling pressure up here for sure, as was just shown. So if there is a pullback, don't be surprised. If you've watched my other videos, you know that we're in a solid uptrend. So when I'm talking about pullback, I'm not saying a whole reversal where the price drops down there. I'm just saying, maybe it pulls back to around this area. So know that the context of what I'm saying pullback in is within a bullish context. So I'm not saying pullback in a negative sense, just pullback to, let out some of these profit takers that are clearly up in this zone right now. Now in terms of the FAS chart, what I would like to see is a close and break, or excuse me, a close above, because we have broken above it already. But just let's see some breaks that are strong enough to close above this line. This is still resistance, and I think if we can get some closes above here, and better yet, a close above this level, I think that that trend line on the Dow Jones will have no problem breaking, and it'll probably get shattered. So if we need a couple more sideways days here before breaking up above this point, that's fine. But I really think that the financials are going to dictate what happens here as we're up by this trend line. And I like using FAS. It's one of the good charts to follow the financials. So pretty much, if I think the markets are going to be going up, I'm going to be watching FAS. This is I'm not going to watch Dow Jones because I'm confident that if we can get some candlesticks that close above here like that, that trend line on the Dow Jones is going to be shattered and hopefully start really taking off again. But that really depends on what the financials want to do. So watch this chart. There are other charts out there you can watch. XLF, for example, also monitors the financial sector. But for the sake of this video, let's watch this. We'll just call it $80, and if we can get some closes above $80, maybe even get up to about $85, I see no reason why this trend line area here won't be shattered and have the price pull away from it. So only time will tell, but one of those things where keep your eye on the FAS and let's see how it reacts when it gets up towards that $80 area, assuming it does this week. So if you have any other questions, please shoot me a message. I'd also encourage you to check out bullmarketnewsletter.net. If you sign up for the newsletter, you'll get the free ebook, which has been getting solid reviews, and then you'll also be subscribed on the newsletter, which sends out all sorts of good stuff from trading ideas to bullish chart setups to articles to bullish fundamental plays. Nice variety, everything from small caps to big boards, and no strings attached. It is all free, so it's worth at least checking out. And we've been having some good success with our trade ideas. One of them was 75%. Our most recent one is still in play, and it's up right now right around 30%. So we've been having some good success and fun together, making some profits. Once again, if you have any questions on the Dow Jones chart, shoot me a message, and I'll do my best to help you out. Thanks for listening.